You know, we have brought the NGCDF back to the public because it's the public who decides. They're the ones who decide how they must be governed, how their resources are used. So we are going to wait when all constituencies in Kenya have delivered their forms. Then we'll know the feeling of the public. But as I can read it here in game, I think they have benefited from CDF. If it is for them, we should increase more resource. But my suggestion for the country is that we should use the same format of CDF for funds taken to the county. So that we say, strictly, if it is hospitals in game, we must put 50 million. If it is schools in game, we put 50 million. If it is nurseries in game, we put 20. So that that money is not misused. It is directed to the program it's supposed to support.
Today is the second day of public participation on the constitutional amendment bill that seeks to entrench the CDF, NGAF, and Senate Oversight Fund into the Constitution. And the reason why we are doing this is because some people have found it fit to challenge the NGCDF, not on account of what it does, but on the fact that it is not in the Constitution. I was part of the committee of experts that wrote the Constitution 15 years ago. There is nothing in the Constitution that is inconsistent with the NGCDF as a fund. But because some people have questioned it, we have found it necessary to entrench it in the Constitution so that no one then can say it's unconstitutional. So if anyone has a problem with the NGCDF, then let that problem be independent of its unconstitutionality, because the Constitution cannot be unconstitutional. I want to explain this. Why are we doing this? First of all, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga appointed me as one of the co-chairs of the first NADCO. It did not succeed, but then a second team of NADCO was appointed, which was now co-chaired by Kalonzo Musyoka. That team found it necessary to recommend that the NGCDF should be entrenched in the Constitution. We got instruction from His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga that the NADCO report should be implemented as is. It is my duty as the elected representative of Jorarieda to follow those instructions, and therefore we are entrenching the NGCDF in the Constitution. Secondly, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga said that members of parliament should not involve themselves in development. They should focus on representation, legislation, and oversight. It is in that respect that we have changed the wording. It used to be called NGCDF, National Government Constituency Development Fund. We have removed the word development, and now it remains just the National Government Constituency Fund. Because as a member of parliament, I will not involve myself in development, but I will involve myself in representation. And part of representation is to make sure that my constituents have good schools, is to make sure that the students in my constituency get bursaries, is to make sure that the colleges in my constituency are well developed, is to make sure that any school that requires a school bus, I support in buying that school bag, is to make sure that all the police stations, the security organs, are well funded. In fact, I want to tell you, and we want to thank the Inspector General, because Rarieda, in the entire constituency, we only had 20 policemen. But I spoke to the Inspector General, and now we've been added another 21 policemen. more than double. That is part of representation. Koso kamano. We are entrenching this because we are restricting it to the share of national government. In the Constitution, we had only put a minimum of 15% for counties. We have recommended in NADCO that it increases to 35%. But before we get there, we cannot allow the 85% to just remain in Nairobi. That 85% must also come down here. So we are restricting national government constituency fund to the allocation of the national government. We are not touching the one for the counties, because counties also need more money than they are getting currently. If we don't do that, we will go back to where we used to be. Do you remember Moi's days? When Moi said, siasa mbaya, and if you want to build even a toilet in Rarieda primary, you would have to go and plead with the president. And some of us are not used to pleading. Kakanuti and Kamolo. And let us be very clear on this. Even if CDF was abolished, the counties will not get that money, because the CDF comes from the national government allocation. If it is returned, it will go back to Nairobi. It will not be available. And also know that under the Constitution, the counties actually do not have a mandate to deal with primary schools, to deal with secondary schools, to deal with tertiary institutions, including universities. If we return it, today we are issuing 8 million Kenya shillings to our students who are in colleges and the university. If Kodok, that money will not be there.
I support the CDF Odomka. Niketango of the officers at Yoka in hospitality. Kedenya nokakida Yoka to giruwa kokita dayo moti mabe. Tomana Rio and ECD teacher. Kama antiera ulekyo wajana alwa kwa kanyitindo batinda. Togi mari tia madogo chama kuango. And kachunya one. Kama tin magi.
Kasejo chopo. Tabiro wuoyo kodu. Nyathijo kindu to dhi 2027 mabende onge siasa.
Owacho, joela untie. Owacho no dwaro women rep.